Untitled. Some of the difficulties I've come across so far with social interactions and not just, buddy buddy or, acquaintance, okay. Thanks for telling me about energy and emotions. Has to do with how people treat their brains and their minds, and especially their bodies. People, I think, in the older days and people now have different kinds of choices they make, go for consciousness, and know the world so well. Nobody else can ever be smarter or more intelligent. And then the other person who talks to another person as if they are getting the person better and fixed. Someone saying, I'm gonna fuck you up the next time I see you, talking to that person's self. And then there's the emotional energy. And from what I've seen with children, more beneficial for their speed. Too much emotion, too much just twisting and turning and running and jumping, it just gets too rambunctious sometimes. And then you got to worry about food, like them just wearing themselves out and get sick or something. But for adults, emotion and energy, arguably okay, emotion. Are for certain folks and people more beneficial and more important than thinking and thought. Too much emotion, too much thinking, too much distractedness. Then it starts to get into the social system with the processes. People are having to, diagnose and sort out for a person what they need to do. The difficulty I have with psychological cognition and these kinds of options have to do with someone who could be a heavy smoker, liquor drinking, awareness king. And they could be talking to someone who takes medicine and, has difficulties and maybe does some drugs, who knows? And not really giving much for the person to actually have benefit from other than less emotion. More restrained and refined emotional energy. But then you're at the mercy of the wisdom provider, where they've been, what they've done in their lifetime. And normally in the, traditional years with telephone booths and phone books, not as much of a need for, a discussion about. Older folks help the young babies and the children and the kids a lot. I had help from Chuck, my best friend in high school, who was a Navy veteran from the Gulf War. And then my Lakota friend, Audrey, when I got a year or two older and graduated high school. But the amount of information, the data accessed effortlessly, the lifetimes of groundbreaking knowledge start to be a distraction and cause misdirection rather than the cognition of the book to buy on the internet, the book to check out from the university library, and plain old audio. The more obvious older, younger social interaction would be, learning about health together. Younger people with their internet craziness, and wisdom, on the, Amazon website. And older people with more time, more patience, although not always, depending on what they've done, where they've been, who they've seen, what they've heard. But what people have heard, seen, done are more stories, are more fun chemicals, more laughter, and not as much policing, treating, managing, and especially controlling world and other humans. The world and the humans outside of the person's body, brain, and mind. And there's more spontaneity, there's more, like the, made for TV commercial. It's got all the benefits, and there's always good, there's still the good wisdom to be heard. But always using the same words, the same descriptions, the same ideologies to solve problems we now have been able to figure out, not only cognitively, not only physically, not only with consciousness, with the whole body, brain, and mind. The whole brain, mind, brain, self. I remember in the old days, you talk about like LSD as consciousness, like, oh, you gotta go, do some psychedelics and stuff, but now we've scanned and, researchers and professors and doctors have scanned and written books on experience and also moved past the mind body problem and focused more now on the brain and the world. And when the mind gets set aside and potentially eliminated from social interactions, especially with people saying like, oh, it's your mind, you need to get your, just heavy mind alteration, heavy no mind, heavy-handed, heavy thinking. And then the brain, like more of a social opportunity to talk about energy consumption, emotions, and how that can move stuff around from left to right and then, down and up, and cause kind of, some excitement. Just kind of staring off and, dreaming or mind wandering. And then the world with the brains from different people, the minds, self, brain, bodies, start to have less awareness for faces, for gestures, for behaviors, and more towards understanding better, thinking more clearly, having more beautiful thoughts. And not problem solving every second of the day, every minute of the whole year. Short retreats and meditation are helpful. They get you practicing with posture, and your back, is good and stuff. But eventually, like now with my back, you get sore from sitting so much, so there's that brain body recognition of pain and not just accepting the pain and, using the mind to get rid of the pain. But the cognition of what's causing the pain. Okay, rest the back, lay down, do lying meditation, walking, stand upright, get on the legs and feet and do walking meditation, breathing. And those are the I think more up to date, as far as right now with my book list and being at the mercy of money and having to order books later, a good starting point for a better social community and especially a better social world. Less dialect, less, hatred and violence, and more compassion, more awareness and attention for the need of humans everywhere. Governments aren't around to just be governments. Governments are here to help the humans on Earth, in the world. The end.